So UFC 317 just concluded, and Tony has died. I'm going to be going through the entire card and giving my reaction to all the fights. And not just that, I'm going to be telling you every single fight that needs to get made. Let's get straight into it, man. With the main event, Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria. This was just sad, man. This was like, that is just what Ilia Topuria does to people, man. And it started off somewhat competitive, you know? Charles goes up there, pushes the action. He landed a couple of good shots, shoots a takedown, but I think they actually clashed heads and it like cut his eye open or something. He had some blood running down his face. Topuria just does what Topuria does, bro. And he just landed a check left hook on Oliveira. And he barely put anything into it. Let's just say how it is. And he put Oliveira like out cold bad. And then he landed another follow-up shot on him while he was still in the air. And then he landed 2 more follow-up shots. And I was just watching the slow motion replays of this shit, bro. I was fucking crying, bro. This shit was so sad to watch. I'm not gonna lie. This shit, oh my god. Like, I don't even know what to say, man. Like, I'm really like hurt right now. Charles Oliveira, one of the greatest fighters of all time. Like, basically has only lost to Islam Makhachev in the past couple of years. He just got put out cold with ease. Like, he made, like, Ilia Topuria made Charles Oliveira look like an amateur. And he folded him out cold. I don't think anybody beats Ilia Topuria. And we got to start talking about this guy as a top 10 fighter of all time, if not top 5 fighter of all time. Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and now Charles Oliveira back to back to back. That is better than anything John Jones, GSP, DJ, Volk. That's better than anything that they have done in their entire careers. He's now a 2 weight division champion. This guy is him. This guy is the greatest fighter I've ever seen. He can do that to anybody. It doesn't matter. His power, like we were worried, okay, will his power translate from 145 to 155? He looked stronger. He looked like a better version of himself at this weight class. This is the best fighter that ever exists, ever. And for some reason, the UFC had the fucking audacity to pull Paddy Pimblett into the cage, even though Arman Tsarukyan literally weighed in as the backup fighter for this fight. They have the goddamn audacity to pull Paddy Pimblett into the cage and make him do a face-off with Ilia Topuria and shoot a promo. We don't care. Not a single human being on the planet wants to see that shit. Nobody wants to see Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett because we already know the answer. We already know who wins that. It is Ilia Topuria versus via first round knockout. No question in my mind. Paddy Pimblett will get slept in the first 30 seconds against Ilia Topuria. I'm saying it right now. The first 30 seconds, Paddy would get fucking slept. Nobody wants to see Paddy versus Ilia, and they should be ashamed that they even brought Paddy Pimblett into the fucking cage. Nobody wants to see that, man. But yeah, bro, Ilia Topuria is him. We gotta start talking about this guy as a top 5 fighter of all time. 2 weight class champion, greatest 3-fight win streak of all time. I mean, who beats him? Islam Makhachev doesn't even beat him, bro. I'm saying it right here, bro. Islam Makhachev would get absolutely dogged by Ilia Topuria in 3 rounds. I think Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan is the clear fight that needs to happen next, bro. Fuck all the Paddy Pimblett shit, alright? For Oliveira, I think that Oliveira should fight Max Holloway regardless if he wins to Dustin Poirier or loses to Dustin Poirier. I think that Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway makes a lot of sense. If he beats Dustin, it will, like, it's a rematch. You know, they fought at featherweight before. If Max beats Dustin, it's going to have a lot of hype behind it. Charles Oliveira, just get, you know, God bless his soul, bro. Like, man, that was so sad to watch, bro. I can't believe, like, why? Why did he have to get put out cold, bro? Next fight on the card, we had Alejandro Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. Kai Kara-France fucking sucks, bro. And I've been saying this for a while. He is one-dimensional. He has no like ability to mix up his fighting style at all. He is terrible, all right? And I've been saying this. I don't even think he should have been getting the title shot to begin with. Pantoja just went out there and bulldozed Kai Kara-France. Just made him look like an amateur, to be completely honest. Went out there, pressed the pace forward, walked forward. He was just landing good combinations on him. Kai Kara-France was like slipping backwards while Pantoja took his back. He had his back the whole first round. He actually had an arm triangle in the first round. I thought that Kai Kara was going to tap to that. Yeah, Pantoja just beat the fuck out of Kai Kara-France, bro. Never do that. Never stick your tongue out ever again, Kai Kara-France. Never do that corny shit ever again. Nobody wants to see that bullshit. Pantoja, he now has more wins, submissions, and knockouts than Demetrious Johnson does at flyweight. We got to start talking about this, bro. Like, this is a hard conversation we need to have, bro, but Pantoja is neck and neck with Demetrious Johnson. If he gets one more win, I mean, he might already be better than Demetrious Johnson. I'd have to think and sit about, like, I have to sit and think about it for a second, bro. But this is his 4th title defense now in the modern era, beating Brandon Moreno 3 times, beating Brandon Royval twice, beating Kai Kara-France twice. This is called legacy, man. This is GOAT conversation worthy. Thank God Kai Kara-France lost. I fucking hate his stupid fucking face. But yeah, for Pantoja, we need to see Alejandro Pantoja versus Joshua Van. I will get to the Joshua Van fight in a second. But we need to see Alejandro Pantoja versus Joshua Van. And for Kai Kara-France, I think that Kai Kara-France versus Brandon Royval makes a lot of sense, man. Brandon Royval just lost his #1 contender fight. Kai Kara-France just lost his undeserved title shot. And I think that those two would match up nicely against each other, all right? So Pantoja versus Van, Royval versus Kai Kara. I think that Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van was the greatest fight I've ever watched. No grappling, no pussy shit. Joshua Van and Brandon Royval went out there and fucking dogged it out like some fucking real men, bro. The box, dude, I swear to God, I think Joshua Van is now my favorite fighter in the UFC. What he did in this fight is crazy. 3 weeks notice. This is his 6th fight in a calendar year. And he's putting on performance of the night. Joshua Van is a fucking animal, man. I love this dude. Like, I'm not even, like, he's literally, like, he is the fucking truth. First round, Van goes out there, starts heating up pretty good, landing crazy body shots. Anytime they got in the clinch, Van would rip to the body, you know? 1, 2, 1, 2. You know, he'd land fucking crazy combos. He was landing, like, I swear to God, like, basically this whole fight was Brandon Royval is fainting, he's trying to fucking just make Van see shit that's not there. Van's trying to get on the inside and land his combos, right? His hooks, his uppercuts, his 1-2s, and he was landing some good oblique kicks as well to the legs of Brandon Royval in this fight. But he goes out there first round, wins the first round. I think Royval barely notched out the second round. It's probably 1-1 going into the third round, and they literally just go out there and bang it out, bro. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, just straight hooks, like just, you know, the end of Gaethje versus Max? They literally just did that for like 2 minutes straight, just fucking throwing crazy combos, letting each other hit each other. And then Van lands a crazy overhand and just drops Royval and gets on, like, wins the round. The third round was close, and then Van just secured it by dropping Royval and wins the fight, man. I will be picking Joshua Van to defeat Pantoja. I think he is good enough to stuff the takedowns of Pantoja, and I think he's gonna fucking, like, I don't think he can finish Pantoja. He is just an all-around better striker than Pantoja. The thing that does worry me is the size disadvantage for him. I think his striking is just levels better than Pantoja's, but Pantoja's grappling is levels better than Van, so that will probably be the question of the fight, is who can implement their style better. And I just think that over 5 rounds, dude, like, Joshua Van is a volume striker, and he landed over 209 strikes in this fight in 3 rounds. Think about what he can do in 5. He landed 200 strikes in 3 rounds, and look what he can do in 5. And for Royval, man, dude, Royval is a fucking dog. He is a fucking animal, okay? Respect to Brandon Royval. He put it all on the line, risked his #1 contender fight of 3 weeks' notice, gave it to Van. Like, they are both dogs, and they have both gained my respect forever for this fight. This was one of the best fights of all time. Next fight on the card, we had Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. I did pick Beneil Dariush to win this fight, even though my boy Renato follows me on Instagram. I just thought that when Beneil is able to stuff the takedowns of Moicano, he'll be able to fuck him up in the striking. And you know, he stuffed every single takedown from Gamrot, so I was thinking to myself, there's no way that Moicano is going to be able to take Dariush down, and Moicano has never even dropped somebody on the feet before, so there's no way he can fuck with Dariush in the stand-up. First round, it's a pretty even fight. They're going tit for tat, landing leg kicks against each other. Moicano's trying to, like, kind of just outstriking Dariush on the feet a little bit. Dariush seems a little gun shy, like he hasn't been in there for a while. Moicano ends up dropping Dariush. That's the difference between Moicano and someone like Oliveira and someone like Arman. He's old. He doesn't have the like fast twitch fucking muscles to be able to finish somebody like that, you know? So where other people would just drop Dariush in the first round, where other people would finish Dariush, Moicano just dropped him, right? And Dariush was able to recover, and then once he recovered, he just locked the fuck in. And then the next 2 rounds, he just out-grappled Moicano, outstruck Moicano. Moicano got whooped 2-1. Dariush played with him after he got dropped, so he locked the fuck in. For Dariush, I think that he should fight Rafael Fiziev. I think that fight makes a lot of sense. And for Renato Moicano, I think that Renato Moicano versus Grant Dawson really makes a lot of sense. Moicano is going to have to defend his ranking. He's lost 2 in a row now. He's got to fight down. Grant Dawson, he's just coming off of a win over Carlos Diego Ferreira. Definitely deserves a step up in the rankings. So I think Moicano versus Grant Dawson makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about the next fight. Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima kind of shit the bed in this one, bro. But at the same time, what I really think that we saw is how good Peyton Talbot is. He was able to just completely reinvent himself as a fighter over the course of 6 months. Like, he basically went from having no takedown defense whatsoever and no ability in the grappling to just stuffing every single takedown from Felipe Lima. And make no mistake about it, this is a very good win for Peyton Talbot. Felipe Lima is 2-0 in the UFC, has 2 very impressive performances. He's now 2-1. Why did we pick against him, man? It's fucking Pride Month, all right? Fucking Pride Month. We thought Peyton Talbot was going to lose during Pride Month. Like, that's kind of crazy, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, man, Peyton Talbot, he just has super slick striking. He just is so comfortable on the feet. And when he gets into his flow state, I don't think there's anybody that's more comfortable except for maybe Ilya, bro. He just knows where to land his punches. He knows how to throw his punches. Yeah, he got taken down a couple of times in this fight, but he also did a lot of work on the ground himself. He took down Felipe Lima at one point, and he held him and did ground and pound. I don't think he took him down. I think he just reversed position. But still, Peyton Talbot looked like a much improved fighter and someone that could beat Ronnie Barcelos. Who should he fight next? So there's a fight that's booked between Bryce Mitchell and Said Nurmagomedov. And I think that Peyton Talbot should fight the loser of that fight. And for Felipe Lima, I'm not sure who he should fight. He's still a good fighter. I think he has a lot of promise and future in the division. He won the first round of the fight, so yeah. This next fight, Jack Hermansson versus Gregory Rodriguez. How good is Jared Cannonier, baby? How good is the Killer Gorilla? Gregory Rodriguez absolutely starched Jack Hermansson, man. And this is what I said was going to happen, because Jack Hermansson lost the first 2 rounds to Joe Pyfer, and if that fight was a 3-round fight, he would have lost that fight too, all right? But it was 5 rounds, and Jack Hermansson needs all 5 rounds to win a fight. Gregory Rodriguez is an early starter. He goes out there, he lands crazy bombs in the first round in all of his fights, dropped Cannonier twice, but Cannonier was good enough to get finished. Hermansson was good enough to get knocked the fuck out, all right? He starts with a left hook from Gregory Rodriguez. Let me be clear. I just knocked out Jack Hermansson. That was Obama, all right? Obama just knocked out, dropped an airstrike on Jack Hermansson. Jack Hermansson just got put out fucking cold, bro. Like, he got put out on a stretcher. He literally got taken out on a stretcher, I'm pretty sure. And they were giving us medical recoveries for us the entire time. Like, he got put out bad. And it was honestly Herb Dean's fault, because Gregory Rodriguez knocked him out cold, and he knew he was knocked out cold. He was literally standing over Jack Hermansson, looks at Herb Dean. Herb Dean just like shrugs his fucking shoulders. And then Gregory Rodriguez hits Jack Hermansson again. Yeah, man, RoboCop. I think RoboCop should fight Joe Pyfer. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think both guys are 1 fight away from the rankings. And I think for Hermansson, I think he just needs to take a lot of time off and really consider if he wants to keep doing this, because he's old already and he just got slept out for the worst way in his entire career. So this next fight was pretty crazy too, man. Hyder Emil versus Jose Delgado. Hyder Emil, undefeated UFC prospect, goes in there and fights against Jose Delgado. If you remember Hyder Emil's last fight, it was an absolute barn burner. He kind of just tried to walk forward on Jose Delgado when he probably should have been a little bit more methodical. And Jose Delgado just lands a fucking knee straight up the middle and puts Hyder Emil out cold. And lands another shot. Some people were saying it was an early stoppage, but he was literally out. And as soon as the ref stopped the fight, he started moving again. Like, he was out. Like, he was not defending himself whatsoever. But yeah, Jose Delgado got it done, man. Super underrated fighter. definitely on my radar now. And Hyder Emil, see you in the PFL, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. But we can get some good fights for Hyder Emil in the future, but I have no idea. The next fight on the card was Tracy Cortez versus Viviana Araujo. I picked Tracy Cortez to win this fight by submission, and she was pretty close to getting some submissions in this fight, but she ultimately couldn't get the submissions. But she completely dominated Viviane, and I think Viviane should be cut from the roster. She's 13-7. She loses to every single ranked opponent she's fought. She's terrible. Cut her from the sport. Tracy Cortez went out there and just completely dominated her in every aspect of MMA. Took her down, beat her up on the feet, took her down, did some fucking submission attempts on her. Yeah, she fucked her up. So yeah, that's who Tracy Cortez beat. Next fight on the card, we got Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borishev. This fight had two outcomes. It was either Vyacheslav Borishev was good enough to survive Terrence McKinney for 2 minutes, or he wasn't. And he wasn't. Okay, Terrence McKinney went out there and did what Terrence McKinney does, which is bum rush. Terrence McKinney's entire game plan is for the first 2 minutes, go as hard in the fucking paint as you can possibly go. And if it doesn't work, he's fucked. That's literally his entire game. And it worked against Vyacheslav Borishev, who is just a mid-can in the UFC, to be completely frank. I love Borishev, but he's just not UFC caliber. He should be cut from the roster. And for McKinney, he went out there, just did what Terrence McKinney does. Yeah, man. Terrence McKinney, good win. Proud of you, bro. Next fight on the card, we got Nico Price versus Jacob Smith. I've seen Jacob Smith's other fights, and I thought this guy was going to be the next champion of the UFC. I thought he was just going to run through everybody, but it seems like he played with Nico Price for the first 4 minutes of this fight, and it seems like he gassed himself out trying to get a finish. The second round was competitive until Jacob finally got the finish, bro, but he definitely should not have been a minus 3,000 favorite against Nico, bro. It was a bad look from Jacob. Definitely, but he can it's definitely something he can improve. Like, he looked really, really good for the first 4 minutes. He was just throwing him around, beating him up, doing whatever he wanted to him, but the second round was too close for comfort for someone who's minus 300, bro. Jacob Smith needs to go back to the drawing board. And he was just screaming, Joe Rogan! Like, I just think he had, I don't know what happened. His fight IQ is also questionable, all right? So, and for Nico Price, cut him from the sport. I know I just said cut 3 people from the sport back to back, but Nico Price, no business in the UFC, bro. And the final fight on the card was Shanana Denise versus Alvin Hines. Dude, this Alvin Hines dude, he's underrated. I'm going to pick him in his next fight, whatever UFC can they give him to. He had a really good third round against Shanana Denise. Shanana Denise just kind of reminds me of Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Like, he's a not completely fat, super technical, can't wrestle. Like, that's Junana Denise. That's Jairzinho Rosenstrike. So Junana Denise is the new shittier Rosenstrike. That's how I see him. But yeah, he won the first 2 rounds clearly, beat up Alvin Hines. This dude was literally just smiling ear to ear. He needed to lock the fuck in. I don't know why he was smiling like that. But yeah, man, this dude had the biggest grin on his face the entire fight. And he put up a good scrap, all right? I'll give him some credit. Shout out to Gooner. Gooner Hines. His name's like Goober or something like that. I just kept calling him Gooner the whole time. Overall, this card was actually really, really good. The main card was phenomenal. Except, dude, Charles got put out bad, man. Yeah, man, that will do it for the video, guys. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're probably going to hit 7,000 subscribers soon. It really means so much to me. But yeah, man. Fucking Charles got put on a fucking stretcher, bro. That was bad. Alright? I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.